Okay,
We're live.
we are live. Yeah, so today, so Kayla's one of my absolute dearest friends on planet Earth, and we've known each other for a long time. We have been on these parallel journeys of like life and marriage and motherhood, and now business. Well, and actually, before all that, ministry, marriage, motherhood, and now we've stepped into this entrepreneurial realm. So today we just wanted to kind of take a little bit of a different take on what we're doing. We've been doing a lot of education behind holistic health and even just MIG as an innovator in the clean living industry, and kind of what sets us apart. But today, we kind of wanted to step back a little bit and even just address something that, quite honestly, I had never ever even thought about before being in this entrepreneurial world, just how there is a pretty vast difference between an employee mindset and the mindset of an entrepreneur. And for the past 2 years, we have been helping to build a company basically from the beginning, in some senses, and have been learning a lot about what it takes, what it means. And also, we talk to a lot of people, and many of the people that we talk to are employees. Most of us are slash have been employees at different points in our lives where, we are literally trading our time for money. In most cases, we are reporting to an employer where there are certain expectations, a certain time commitment, a certain skill set that you're hired for. If you play that out, eventually, for a lot of people, it's with the end goal in mind of reaching a certain position that is often only one position that maybe many people are aspiring to reach. So we've been learning a lot just about a lot of the differences. And I know for me, I've been really challenged in my thinking, especially with my kids, because the way that I grew up, and actually have a dad who was, I would say, fairly entrepreneurially minded. He helped, start a company, was the CEO of this company for several years, really understood kind of building and creating something like this. But during my childhood, I was kind of, all I knew was that you go to school for 12 years, 13, from kindergarten through senior year, and then you graduate. And then what is best is to then go find a college where you can go to a college for 4 years, graduate with a certain degree, and then that degree is what is going to then be the thing that you do to make money that will pay your bills, that will help you establish your life as an adult. And then eventually the goal is to retire with enough money to live until you die. And that was just kind of it. There wasn't really any other path that was laid out before me. Not that my parents didn't know that there were other paths or didn't think that that was valuable, but I was never taught to think beyond college. And super quickly, and then I want to hear some of your thoughts, Kayla, because I know we've had very similar journeys as adults in vocation. I Oh, where was I going with this? This is what I was going to say. So my husband and I have been on staff. We've worked with a college ministry for many, many, many years, where we work directly with college students. So we saw this play out in people's actual lives. Freshmen coming in to college, super excited about their career path. They devote 4 to 6 years, or maybe there's like an after graduation, master's degree or something, where it's like their whole life is revolved around like attaining this degree. And then they graduate. And, we had students, we worked at Butler University for 5 years, and very prestigious school, very amazing education. Those students were very smart, very, very, very smart, amazing. But we saw student after student after student that graduated with literally hundreds of thousands of dollars of debt, sometimes as history majors, sometimes with teaching degrees, sometimes, with communications or something else. And then literally they were enslaved to their debt after college, because what you have to pay it back, you can't just poof and make it go away. So we've kind of seen this cycle from a different perspective too, as we were meeting with college students, as we were in that world, like, oh yeah, kind of once you're on that path and stuck on that path, that's it. And unless you are educated about other ways to bring in income, or other ways to build a life, and other vehicles to step into that will help pay for you to live so that you can pursue the things that you're really passionate about, like, it's really, for a lot of people, their only path. Okay. I'd love, and you are related to some very significant entrepreneurs also, Kayla. I'd love to hear from you kind of your perspective on this, from your own life, your own experiences as an employee, even in ministry, working with college students, and then also being related to entrepreneurs and seeing them. And now as you're also an entrepreneur yourself.
Yeah. Well, one thought that I had just when you were sharing is, yes, I watched that same cycle happen too. And I worked for a few years at UCLA. So same thing, really prestigious university, incredibly brilliant students. Many of them are doing incredible things with their lives now. So I don't want to discredit that at all.
Absolutely.
However, many of them also are doing something incredible, but it's not at all related to the degree that they got.
Yes.
So it's like many graduate with this incredible debt, and then they don't even end up using that degree. They end up pursuing something different. And many use their degree also. So we're not in any way, and I know you're not, but just to make this very clear, we're not in any way wanting to say that like college education is not valuable. We're both college educated. Like,
Yeah.
that's valuable, and we see the value in it. And I mean, so much life happens. You grow up a lot in those years. And anyway, so we're not devaluing that at all.
No. Yeah.
And also, we are trying to challenge ourselves as we're learning more about the world and learning more about money and learning more about our future and our children and how we're raising our children and what we're exposing them to. We are just in a process. Everything is a process, right? We're in a process of thinking through, man, there are other things to consider that I wish that I'd known, or that you wish that you'd known, that it's like, man, we want to make sure that as we raise now our kiddos, that we're helping them to understand what options are there. And, should the day come that, I mean, I will encourage my kids to go to college. Like, that's something that I value and that I will encourage them to do if they want to. And if the day comes that one of my kids says, I don't want to go to college, I want to pursue fill in the blank, I'm not going to be like completely devastated and think that they're throwing their life away, which honestly, when I was growing up, I really had a mentality, and my parents did not like put this on me. I don't know where this came from, but I remember as a child having a mentality that, like, I don't know, like if you didn't go to college, you were going to end up in trouble or something. I was like, that's just what you needed to do. You needed to go to college. And ironically, neither my brother or sister did go to college. I was the only one of the three of us that did. But I had put that story in my mind. And again, I don't really know where it came from. It wasn't my parents, but I had put that story in my mind. And so anyway, with all of this, we just want to be encouraging ourselves and our kids and you guys to just be thinking through the fact that there are other options, and what are they? And maybe going to school and getting a traditional education is so important and valuable. I'm super grateful we have doctors. I'm super grateful we have teachers. I'm super grateful we have people who have
Yes.
gone that route. And also, it's not the only option, and you're not like throwing your life away if you don't pursue that route.
Yeah.
Okay.
100%.
Felt the need to say that.
You get,
um,
thank you for bringing all the disclaimers because, again, we worked in a college ministry for a long time. College is amazing. It's amazing. And in a lot of cases, it does help you, whether you use your degree or not, it helps you, it opens up doors of opportunity that you just honestly wouldn't have without a degree. So,
and relationships and personal growth and all kinds of things. So much value. And
yeah.
also, there are other things to consider when it comes to ways to make money, a career that you want to pursue, etc. So
Yeah.
I think for me, so my personality, I am not a risk taker. I want things to be safe and secure. I am not entrepreneurial by nature. I'm very like, in my mind, like you get a job, you have the health benefits, you know what your paycheck's going to be, like steady and just kind of normal. Like that's what feels safe to me.
Yeah.
And I have a brother who is a incredible visionary, incredible entrepreneur, high risk taker. It like, I mean, I'm like, whoa, like, I mean, he's a high risk taker, but he also wins really big, and it's like, and when he loses, that can be big. Like there's part of entrepreneurship is being okay with the wins and the losses. That's part of it. And I think for me personally, entrepreneurship does not come naturally because I am more emotionally affected by those types of things than like say my brother. My brother can have a big loss in business and he's like, well, let's find the next win and make it bigger. And I'm like, but you just had a big loss. Like it's so scary, So, but I have been in a process of growing and of figuring out like, okay, so I'm probably not going to go out and like make a $800,000 investment in fill in the blank as an entrepreneur, at least at this stage in my life. I am not. I don't have the education or the capital to be willing to take that kind of a risk right now. Maybe someday I will, but at this point, for me, I've been learning and growing in entrepreneurship on a very small scale, and it's been so good that I've had an opportunity to do that with very little risk. Because then I feel like I can do this.
Yeah.
So let me back up a little bit. So my brother and my sister-in-law, Sonia and Cole, they are so dear to me. I respect them greatly, and I am blown away with what they've created in business and in not only their own entrepreneurship journey. We should do one of these on Thrive and share a little bit more about their story because I like want to go into all that, but I can't use the time.
We need to plug Thrive. If anyone here listening is an entrepreneur, we will actually, can we put like some details in the comments?
For sure. Yeah, we totally can. And let's do one of these just on that next week or whatever. Because it's like such an incredible thing that they've created. And I'm so proud of them. And I've been so impacted watching them. Anyway, what Thrive is just, they are, not only are they investing in their own entrepreneurship journey, but they're deeply impacting and helping others in their entrepreneurship journey. And I'll just leave it at that for right now. So I have so much respect for them and what they've created, and also what they are doing in helping others. And Sonia and I have had conversations for years where she has really encouraged me to try different things or to put myself out there. She's told me for years, she's like, you love to cook, you make the best food, like you should do a food blog, or you should do a food Instagram or a recipe book, and it's all just felt very I don't know, it's felt like I don't know where to start, and I don't know, I wouldn't call myself a natural entrepreneur.
Yeah.
And yet I've been really inspired watching Cole and Sonia and what they've built and seeing how they have multiple streams of income. They have um, time freedom. Now they work their buns off, but they have time freedom and flexibility in the sense that if they want to just throw their family in a motorhome and go for 2 weeks, they can, and they work on the road and work with that flexibility. But I mean, my husband works a traditional corporate in corporate America, and we can't do that. We can't just leave for 2 weeks. Like, it's just not an option for us. And so, when I look at my husband's job, and we have that stability, that the health insurance, the things that in my mind I thought, like, this is ultimately what I want. But then I see the benefit to what Cole and Sonia have been able to create, and the freedom and flexibility and the experiences that it's given their family, and the opportunity and the relationships. And there's just so much. So for me, going back to kind of my story, when I had the opportunity to step in to what Jamie Cross has created with MIG, and to have an opportunity to partner with an incredible founder, who has integrity in product and in leadership, and to be able to step into something that was like already there. It's like I didn't have to come up with a product. I didn't have to create a website. I didn't have to do all that groundwork.
Yeah.
But I could step into it with a very minimal investment. And for me personally, I made the largest investment into this business that was available to me, because I chose to buy the largest product pack. I wanted to have the most product at the best discount to be using it for myself and my family. And so I made the biggest, riskiest investment in this business, which was $1,100. It was $99 to join, a $997 launch pack full of product, which filled my house with chemical-free, high-quality luxury products that I've used on my whole family ever since, and was able to share with friends. So with a total of an $1,100 investment, which I made back my first week in this business, by the way, I've been set up to experience entrepreneurship and to create a new stream of income for our family. That, it's like, if I was in a situation, just 2 days ago, I was sitting at soccer practice with my kiddos and talking to a brand new friend, brand new mom, first soccer practice. And she was telling me how her family really needed another stream of income. So she took the time period of COVID and she got her real estate license, and she's just getting started in real estate. She hasn't sold a house yet. And she was just telling me how overwhelming it is for her to get started, knowing she has spent this time and money on this education. She's like, I have to pay these fees to the real estate company that I'm partnering with, and I have a monthly lockbox fee, and I have this fee, and I have that fee. And she's like, I'm like signing all of these things, getting myself set up to try to sell a house, and I'm realizing I'm going to have to sell a couple houses before I ever even break even, much less, able to bring in income. And as I was sitting there having that conversation with her, I was just thinking, like, man, $99, like $99, someone can join with a network marketing company, or less, and like, obviously by the company they vary, but it's like, for not very much risk, you can join with a network marketing company, and have an opportunity to create a new stream of income in entrepreneurship without a lot of risk. So that has provided kind of safety for me to step into this. And it's been completely life-changing, not only for my family, but for literally hundreds of others who've said yes and joined us because I said yes. And we've been able to build this business together. So
yeah. This last year, I mean, I wasn't on the payroll anywhere before this last year happened. Bobby and I have worked in exclusively vocational ministry, which has often been funded through either donations or, through church, which is tithing, funded through tithing. That's how we get paid. But I do think that one of the things that I've realized this last year, I think that our brains tell us, our brains are always telling us like what's safe, where can I find security, even if we're not consciously thinking that. And for many of us, it is in the traditional 9 to 5 job that comes with benefits, where you have a 401k, where you have kind of this path set out for you. But for a lot of people this last year, that ended.
Mhm.
Or, now they're having to navigate like remote or in person, or, several of my friends, quite honestly, were in jobs where they traveled for their work. And then all of a sudden, or were event planners, or, and then nobody anticipated that this was going to happen, or what the ripple effects were going to be. So I do think that for the first, maybe not for the first time, but more than ever, people are realizing, oh, that safety and security that I thought I was finding in my 9 to 5 job is actually not quite as safe and secure as I thought it was. And although we should never be putting our hope only in a job or only in a life situation, because anything could happen at any time, we do not have control of any sort of outside circumstances. One of the things that I think people are starting to acknowledge more, and I know for Bobby and I, we've started to talk about like, okay, we have got to get real and even wise about developing streams of income, and not just one stream of income, but multiple.
Mhm.
So this past year, as I've stepped more into entrepreneurship and gotten to rub shoulders with other entrepreneurs who've been doing this way longer, I've actually been introduced to, both of us have been introduced to all the different ways that you can make money and develop streams of income. And here's what really stood out to me. If you want to make residual passive income, which is smart, you want your money to work for you instead of you just always 100% of the time working for your money. This is smart. It's wise. It's being a good steward. It's being savvy. These are good things to develop and to think about and to pursue. There are actually 3 ways, and I'm actually hearing about more of them recently. But you can develop passive income or a stream of income through real estate, through the stock market, through online network marketing, which is what we do right now. This is the stream I'm developing right now, and it will help me branch out to then develop other streams at some point to fund helping get those started. But when
Mhm.
you think about it, the average person cannot go buy a property, an investment property. They don't have the upfront money or the knowledge to be able to do that. Also, most of us think about the stock market and we're like, what? What do I even do? Where do I even start? I mean, I've heard it's a good thing to invest in, but you almost need to hire someone to help you navigate this world, not to mention the amount that you also have to invest in that. Network marketing is one of the only vehicles that is out there, where you are able to enter for a very very minimal amount, so it levels the playing field, so anybody can do this. It's like literally any human being who has this very small initial upfront cost can invest in opening the doors of a business without having to have tens of thousands, sometimes hundreds of thousands of dollars to start. Think about all the brick and mortar stores, and a lot of them have closed this last year, also affected by the pandemic. But to have all that money up front, plus what if this doesn't work? What if in 2 to 5 years my doors still aren't open? Not to mention the skills and the support, and who do you hire and when do you hire? I think it is brilliant that network marketing came to be, because this has not only allowed people to learn how to develop a stream of income, but like you mentioned, and like we're both finding out right now, we are literally developing the skills in this practically no risk situation that is going to help us if we ever decide to then branch out and open up other businesses. Bobby and I have a dream someday in the next 3 to 5, 8 years of opening a coaching business. Well, we would have had no clue where to even start if I didn't have my experience of what I'm learning now. So I just wanted to point that out too, because it's like, I think that I just, no one ever sat me down and walked me through these things. I know I've shared my story on here a lot, but when at 35, Annie was born, all my background had been in ministry and we couldn't pay our bills. I was like, I don't know, where do I go to find, I have to make money. What do I do? I can't go re-enter journalism, which was what my degree was in, at 35. I have no connections, no experience. I'm not going back into ministry because that financially made no sense, for how do we then take care of our kids? How in the world do I make money when I've only been taught that you have to have a traditional path this way? And so this world has opened up actually, I have, quite honestly, like probably hundreds of avenues that I could take business and, online business and coaching and providing and offering value to people, and, like being able to offer a service or a product to people, or an opportunity that that then pays my family. So anyway, this has just been such a cool experience in that. I don't know if you have any final thoughts about all of that.
Yeah, I agree. And I just, real quick, because I know we're out of time, but I was just thinking as you were sharing that there's a guy named Andrew who approached my brother. This is several years ago. And Andrew wanted to work with Cole and said, hey, are there any opportunities to come be on your team? I just want to learn from you. And Cole said, go get a door-to-door salesman job. Talk to me in a couple of years. And Andrew was like, okay.
That's
And Cole
awesome.
said, if you want to be good at sales, if you want to be good at business, if you want to have the skin that you need and the hard work muscles that you need to be successful in entrepreneurship, go get a door-to-door salesman job. And guess what Andrew did? He went and he got a door-to-door salesman job selling solar, worked, learned, grew, and ended up being able to work with Cole. It's like the coolest story. But I just was thinking about the fact that, like, if you talk to entrepreneurs, you talk to the big name leaders in the entrepreneurial space who, if I name drop, everybody knows who I'm talking about. Most of those people have history in network marketing.
Yes.
Or have history in door-to-door salesmen's jobs. It's like, these are the things that anybody can do.
Yeah.
Right? Like going door to door as a salesman, doing network marketing. Like, these are things that anybody can do, anybody can start. And these are places where you can earn or grow the skills, grow the thick skin, grow the personal development that you need, which you get paid while you do that. So thank you for that. But then you're set up to be really knock on people's doors. I would it's developing those skills and preparing us for whatever's to come.
Yeah.
So, and we're getting paid really well along the way. So thank you.
Absolutely. It's so good. This world, it's kind of funny because, like, now that we've gotten more into this world, I mean, both of us are newbies really in this whole world.
Mm-hmm.
It's a small world. Like, people, but once you get it, like once you see it and once you like understand it and it clicks in your brain, it's like, oh, the options for developing streams of income are actually fairly endless. And it's the same principles that are behind that. So, Kayla and I come on here, we like to talk about the things we're passionate about and hope that it's educational and hope that it's kind of eye-opening for anyone that takes time to listen. Thank you if you've taken time to listen to any of this. But if you're someone who is, resonated with any of this and who could benefit from exploring what it would look like to develop an additional stream of income, not in place of your 9 to 5. It doesn't have to be in place of that, but alongside, and to help, just to start to dip your toes into this entrepreneurial world. We would love to talk to you and share what we've learned. Obviously, we are working with a specific company doing a specific type of entrepreneurship, but have connected with so many people that are in so many different forms of entrepreneurship. So this isn't even just about like, come do what we do. This is not for everybody, but we would love to talk to you about what this could look like, and could even potentially connect you to someone that would help bring more clarity to you as you're trying to figure out how to move forward down this path. So thanks for joining us. Thanks, Kayla. I could talk about this stuff for hours.
I know. I have so many more thoughts, but we're out of time.
I know. Maybe let's do we should do part 2 next week.
Let's do it.
Okay, we'll do part 2 next week, and we'll talk about Thrive as well.
Sure. Yeah.
Let's do that. Okay,
Cool.
Thanks for joining us, guys, and we will see you next week.
All righty.